Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Money Mondays at Pennsylvania for Parx, indeed. Terry was telling a little bit of a funny story before we got started. I did not know this, so you're going to learn a little bit about windmills before we get started today. Terry was saying if it's too windy, they have to turn them off. What the hell is that all about? I thought that was the idea. If it's windy, turn them on.
No, if it's like 50-mile-an-hour winds, they don't run them, I don't think. At least I don't see them being run. So
I thought that was the whole idea behind windmills, that if there was windy, I would suspect that the faster the wind blew, the more electricity it would make. But I guess I'm not a windmill engineer.
Well, I don't know. I think it has to do with the structure and the foundation, all that kind of stuff. So
I can imagine. Well, maybe, you're in engineering, you're in that industrial world, Terry. You can maybe help them build windmills that if the wind blows, they can actually take advantage of the wind.
Yeah. And I could be wrong about this. It's just that I've noticed that when it's really windy, they don't seem to have them running.
They're not spinning, huh? When it's really windy?
No, they got the blades turned so they don't spin and the brakes on or whatever.
So they don't go flying through the air like coconuts in Tahiti. I get it.
Probably.
All right. So you're ready to just a nose and a DQ away from a good day for me on Saturday. Terry, he had a nice $10 or $20 win bet on a horse that paid for his whole day.
Yep.
So Terry's been rolling on Thursday at Turfway Park. Now on Saturday, let's see if we can carry on, my friend.
Sounds
into
good.
Parx. What do you say?
Yeah. Am I echoing today?
Not yet. So I'll let you know if that happens.
All right.
So far, the track at Parx, hopefully we got all the scratches in. It looks like the dirt is good. So, and it's supposed to be nice out for the next couple of days. So I don't suspect that that's going to change at all. All right. So let's get cracking with race number 1, Terry. Race number 1, we'll pull up our simulations, is 5.5 furlongs, claiming for $5,000, non-winners of 1 in a year. And that purse there is $18,000. The profile of one of these short sprint winners does, as you can imagine, favor early speed. 45% of the horses at this distance, Terry, go wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7 play fair. Doesn't come into play here, but if you wore an 8 or out, you got a little bit of a bonus. Looks like there's going to be a drag race when the gates open.
It does. There's 3 horses right there at the outside post that have lots of speed, and they'll all 3 be trying to go to the front, and even the 6 has some speed. Looks like to me a nice overlay would be the 1 horse. Normally that one's less than even money. And its morning line's 3.5 to 1. So
looking pretty good there. Yeah, indeed. I don't have him in my bet though. Looking at the race 1 race shape, we see here, in case you're new, E are wire to wire types. EPs are horses that can go wire to wire, sit right off the leaders. Pressure types don't go for the front, but they do run right behind the leader. Pressure closers have all the character. These horses can really do anything. This is your do-all horse here. They can be close. They can go wire to wire. They can come from off the pace. And then, of course, closers are the ones that come from behind. Looking at the early speed, belongs to the 5, maybe the 6. That's why the 6 is boxed off here. This one actually has a +6 speed advantage at the half-mile marker. So likely to be the one. I mean, yeah, so it's only going to have in all likelihood, 1.5 furlongs to go from the lead. The question is, can it close the deal, Terry?
Yeah, I think so. The 6 is my top pick. A Fleet Diva drops in class today and has a trainer wins 23% of the times when dropping a horse down 2 classes. Then number 1, Field Letters, likes the distance, finishing in the money 87% of the races, won 75% of those races, and drops in class today. And then number 5, Spirit or Spite. She has the highest last race speed rating. Her early running style, speed running style, will help her chances. And she has the shorter distance that will help. Number 7 is my long shot, Don't Tell Frankie. She's done well at Parx Racing and drops in class today. And my bet is $1 the day to double. I'm going to take the 6 with the 4, 5, 8, and 9.
6 over the 4, 5, 8, and 9. Okay, wonderful. For me, I am also starting with that 6 horse. The Fleet Diva, this guy's a track dropper, was better in the second half of her last race and will look to be smarter in the third route after a layoff. Number 7, Don't Tell Frankie, is taking a class drop here. Has some back speed, but also gets a weight break in this spot. Number 1, Field Letters. The distance is right. It's been at it 8 times, 6 wins, and a third, but the recent form has not been right. Trainer Philip Aristone, however, is 21% winner, second after Reclaim. And that's an alpha angle for Mr. Aristone because he normally wins at 12%. And then finally, number 5, Spirit or Spite. This one could be the pace setter, but also has the second most late pace in this group. So if you remember last week on Monday, Speed really killed all the way through Tuesday until I sent out a tweet that said, hey, look, Speed's still winning. And then from that race forward, it was all closers. So I changed the Speed myself. I hope I only spent the $100 today. I think I did. I tried to do my math right, but I screw it up pretty regularly. But I'm going to do a 50-cent pick 5 here. I'm going to single the 6 in race 1, 6, 8, and 9 in race 2, singling the 8 in race number 3, the 1, 4, 7, and 8 in race number 4, and in the final leg, the 1, the 4, the 8, and the 10. And I believe that is $24.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, well, once in a while I get my math right there. You got to get something right every now and then. All right, the second race on the card as we move forward, 6 furlongs claiming $7,500. Non-winners have won in a year. The purse here is for $21,000. At 6 furlongs, we've done this so many times, Terry. I don't even need to look it up anymore. It favors early speed, which is a positive. If you wear the red number 1, there is a little bit of a discount. Post positions 2 and out are fair. And at 6 furlongs, 37% of the horses go wire to wire. And if that's the case, it sure looks like Imperial Moon might be a good wire to wire candidate.
It sure does. The only one that looks like might give a little bit up front there with that is that 8 horse, and the 8 has got a little bit of an overlay, and also a small overlay on the 9. So
yeah, just a quick recap. What we're talking about here is these are simulated odds. So we take 1,000 races based upon using their speed figures, and then we simulate 1,000 races with some. Like remember McDonald's, they used to have the secret sauce for the Big Mac. Well, that's our Big Mac secret sauce there. And the same thing with the lead. We do a quarter mile. Who's going to win that race to the quarter mile marker on 1,000 simulations? And this is the way it pops up for us. So and we also like to then look at how the race shape takes form to see which horses might get a tactical in-race advantage. The 7 won't because it's scratched. That 9 horse, as we mentioned, should have plenty of early speed, has a 7-point advantage through the first half mile. And that means basically it should be about a length and a quarter. It could be in front of everybody else after the half mile. The speed doesn't hold up. The one back here has a big late pace advantage, 9 points better than anybody else, meaning it can make up as much as 2 lengths in that final 1/8 of a mile or so. Terry, you think the speed's getting to the front and staying there?
I do. I think that 9 is going to go to the front, go all the way as long as the speed's holding up today. As early a foot, likes Parx Racing, has been in the money 63% of the races run there, won 27% of those. At this distance, been in the money 50% of the time and won 21% of those. Number 5, Blunt Force. She's a closer who likes to be the bridesmaid. So she should be used in the exotics. And then number 4, finished 3rd in her last race and has a bullet workout on December 21st. My long shot is the 8 horse. She won her last race at Parx Racing and has the highest last speed rating. I'm going to play a pick 4. I think this is a pretty wide open race unless the 8 gets out there. The 9 can't be caught. But I'm going to use the 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. I'm going to use the 7, 8 in the next race. And then I'm going to single 4 in the 4th race. And in the last leg, I'm going to use the 1, 4, and 12.
Yeah, I want to say Carlos going back a race. Carlos Santiago Lea Sobaran says in race number 1 for the exacta 6 with the 1, 61 for exacta directa. So he's going ice cold. There's absolutely no equivocation for Carlos there. For me in race number 2, Terry, I like the 9 horse to Imperial Moon. This one's going to drop in class. As we see on the simulator, it's going to be the pace setter, has that early advantage through the first half mile. And I think you're going to see more in round 2 off the sideline. So should continue up the improvement ladder. Leviosa, number 8, top last race speed figure, Showed a lot better in the last half of its other race, but the question for me here is to step up in class. Number 6, Nothing's Free, and ain't that the truth? This one's a class dropper as well. She upped her pace figures through the first half mile too, and does have a solid workout before this upcoming third race off the bench. So a lot of positives for that one as well. Finally, number 2, Fast Intentions. This one is also dropping in class, third off the break, and you cannot ignore at Parx ever Ruben Silvera on the horse and Jamie Ness as the trainer. I'm doing a 50-cent trifecta, the 8 and the 9 over the 6, 8, 9 over the 2, 4, 6, and 8 and 9, and hoping that my 30-1 doesn't get DQ'd on a BS DQ at the end there, which cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Arsenio. Very good show. Thank you. We appreciate that. From Venezuela. Hopefully you're having a beautiful day in Venezuela. Here in Chicago, where I am, it's like 27, 28 degrees out. Kind of cold, but sunny. Supposed to warm up the next couple of days. I'm sure it's summer down there, so you guys are enjoying it. Race 3, Terry, is 1 mile, 70 yards. This one's an optional claiming for 16 grand. The purse is $28,000. At a mile and 70 yards, the kind of horse that typically wins, does show early speed. 32%, in fact, go wire to wire. The inside 3, and if you have an 8er out, so this case, Sensible Jim, but with the scratch, does move inside. They get a bonus. 4 through 7 play under par, Terry. And again, it looks like there will be a little bit of competition to see who is the front runner.
Yeah, there is between that 4 and that 8. But I actually think the 8's going to go to the front and the 4 is going to be just behind. Of course, you've got an underlay on this 8. It's morning lines 3-1, and typically these horses are around 6.5 to 1. So
yeah, so when we do the simulation, it looks like instead of 3-1, it should be closer to 7-1.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and then that's about it. That's all I can see.
Looks maybe you might get a little bit of value on the 3 too. Emperor's Cause, morning line 4-1, could be a good bet all the way down to 2-1, according to our simulations. You had mentioned the 6 and the 4 coming out of the gate. The 2 horse is going to be scratched here, so he's out. We do run into our first left arrow horse of the day. That's the 4 horse, usually a closer, but has enough early speed, just normal gallop when the gates open and the dirt starts flying to move forward. But I do think everybody's going to struggle to keep up with this 8. Has a early pace, late pace advantage. If you combine the 2 together of 6 points, it is the fastest of the 2 horses up front, and everybody else wants to be in the back. This 5 horse gets to NC's, never been close. I've got a feeling this 8's going to get to the front, Terry, and never look back. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
I do, yeah. The 8, Sensible Jim, is my first pick. He ran second versus similar in his last race, and the speed may take him all the way to the wire. And then number 7, Moondog, finished third versus Tougher in his last race, drops in class today, has a trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days, has won 2 out of 5 starts. Then I like number 4, Twas the Devil's Idea. And he ran second versus similar in his last race and is trained by Lewis Linder Jr. And as my long shot, the 1 has finished in the money 60% of his starts during his career, and the rail post is now winning at a 20% clip. I'm going to make a $5 bet in here, or actually 10. I'm going to have a $5 exacta box with the 7-8.
Yeah, just so you know, too, the bets that we have a $100. Terry wishes we had 1,000.
Yeah, I do.
We have a $100 budget that we get to work with. That's our bankroll for the day, and then we make our bets based upon that $100 bankroll. So, Scary Creation says, "Congrats on my Texans giving your Bears the number 1 pick." I'm not really a Bears fan, but you know what? The Bears did beat the 49ers. Your ex-coach guess really owed you the. Yes, they got a lot of memes around here that Lovie Smith cemented his legacy as the greatest Bears coach ever with that yesterday. So yeah, that's pretty funny stuff. All right, so for me in race number 3, I'm going to start off my picks with that 8 horse, Sensible Jim. There's really not a lot of early speed in here, as we showed in the Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet. I think it's going to sit right behind that 1 horse, use that early pace, late pace combination for a big chance to win here. Number 1, Cody Go. It doesn't look like it on paper, but Cody Go could go. He could be close to the front with this crew and did run a Z pattern in his last race. And that's when a horse, early pace figures, I don't know what just happened there. Early pace figures are here. Then the mid pace figures drop, and then they come back on the rebound as they're coming home down the stretch. Number 4, it was the devil's idea. This horse is a left arrow horse, as we mentioned, and did run better fractions at 1 mile and 70 yards versus 1 mile in its previous start. That's always a good sign to me. And then finally, number 7, Moondog. This guy's dropping in from Churchill Downs. It did run the best speed figure last time out, but when I looked at those Parx workouts, to be honest, they weren't all that inspiring to me. I'm going to go with the $1 pick 3. I'm going to single the 8 here. I'm going to single the 4 in the next leg. I'm going to go 1, 4, 8, 10, and 12 in the final leg, and that's a $5 bet, I believe. I'm trying to make sure my math is right so I don't get scolded at the end of the show.
Yeah, well, I haven't checked it yet because I didn't get that far.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Terry holds me to account, baby. You can believe that.
I do, yeah.
Race 4, again, 1 mile and 70 yards, claiming the $25,000. The purse here is 34 grand. Just a quick recap. Early speed wins, 32% go wire to wire. The inside 3 get a little bit of a post position bias, although the 2 Royal Beam is not going to take advantage of that today. 8 and out, so clear cut. Southern Bridge, they could get an advantage as well. 4 through 7, yeah, there's a little bit of a discount in here, Terry. And it does look like the 4 is the one they're going to have to catch.
That's right. It's got lots of early speed. I think it's going to be tough for anything to get there. The 9 could go with it a little bit, but that's about it. And I really don't see much of a, overlay or underlays through this. They're about what there should be. So. Yeah,
it looks like the morning line maker set this just about right based upon our 1,000 simulations. So in race number 4, Terry, let's go ahead and pull up our way to the winner circle worksheet. And race number 4, we did get a scratch here, and I think it was a scratch that could have had a shot to win, because this race shape is really tilted towards the front. You see all the speed up in here, Terry. Got a couple back here that want to close, but the bad news for them is they don't own the best late pace numbers. That belongs to the 1. That belongs as well to the 9. The 2 had it, and the 10. And then the 6 and the 4 are the ones that you're going to have to run down. The 4 should get a good trip in here, Terry. Is that why you put it as your top pick?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's got lots of speed, and if the speed holds up like it's been doing I think this is going to go up and go all the way. Comes back to Parx Racing, where he's 1 for 1, perfect record. Ran second versus similar in his last race, has a jockey in the last 7 days, who's won 3 out of 9 starts, and he has a bullet workout on January 3rd. Number 10, Southern Bridge, is trained by Jamie Ness and ridden by Ruben Silveira, a really good combination. It has a bullet workout on January 3rd also. Number 1 is my 3rd pick, Irish Honor. He likes Parx Racing, finishing the money 80% of the time. And then she's won 20% of those races. He likes the distance. He's finished in the money 71% of the races at this distance, and he's won 14% of the races. My long shot's 5, Yes Sir Colonel. His trainer wins 25% of the route races, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to make a $10 win bet on the 4.
I like the 4-2 Playman. Did run better fractions in its last race. That was at 1 mile and a 16th compared to 1 mile. Again, I'm a big fan. Horse stretches out and runs faster. A resume and the bullet workout says this horse is going to be even better today. Number 10, Southern Bridge. As Terry mentioned, you cannot overlook Ruben Silveira, Jamie Ness at Parx. This horse has a superb bullet workout on January the 3rd and loves himself some Parx. At least second anyway. 8 races, 2 wins, 4 seconds, no thirds. Number 1, Irish Honor. When I look at this horse, it's never run at this level before, even in its maiden. So this is the lowest level for the 1 in its career. Parx, 10 times out, 2 wins, 4 seconds, 2 thirds. Finally, number 8, Hidden Promise, was a real tough call for me over a bunch of other horses, including Terry's number 5. But it did run the top last race speed figure. has some decent workouts, getting ready for its first start off the claim for trainer Michael Pino, and that is a 21% angle. I'm going to do a pick 4. Going to single the 4 here with the 112 in the next race, the 2, 3, 4, and 6 in race number 6, and then in race number 7, close it out with the 1, the 4, and the 9. Terry, we got just a few minutes before they get off to that first race there. So race 5 is a part of my pick 5. Irish Honor. That first time up off the claim could have a class edge. Yeah, I think that one has a shot in there too, that one horse. I agree with you. And then when Scary has hit us up with some long shots that have done pretty well. So keep an eye on that. Race 5 is 6 furlongs, maiden claiming 10 grand. The purse is 21 grand. Again, 6 furlongs. Does favor horses that have a little bit of early speed. The rail gets a little bit of a discount. 3 scratches in here, Terry, none of them really affecting the early speed. So it looks like the 10 and the 5 are going to giddy up and go.
Yeah, they're going to try to get to the front, both of them. And, they could do pretty well. But I've got a feeling that if they run themselves into the ground, something might come from behind to get them. As far as overlays, I think that one horse is a pretty nice overlay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that to me, that's the one that might just get them. So
yeah, 5-1 morning line looks like maybe should be as low as 7-5.
Yeah,
6-5. Yeah, 6-5 morning line odds. Post time odds. That's not bad at all.
No.
In race 5, as I mentioned, there are some scratches. The 2 horse got knocked out of this show. The 8 horse also, which was a part of my picks. The 6 horse, which could have gotten a classic trip. Good spot. The 5 and the 10. Those are the 2 likely to compete for the lead here. This 12 horse also should get a decent trip. It's dropping in class. Should be close to the front. Has the top late pace figure as well. Put together early speed and late speed, and it has the top combination. The 12, the 1, and the 7 get down arrows. They're all dropping in class in this maiden claiming race. Terry, quickly, what do you got?
I like the number 1, Cup of Life. Drops in class today. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like that number 12 horse that you talked about. One Pair of Hands. Has an early foot and drops in class today. Number 4, Only Girl, is my 3rd pick. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race at Parx Racing. And then my long shot is number 10, Seat of Honor. She has speed and has a trainer wins 31% of the races in maiden claiming races that he has a horse entered in.
Yeah, I have the 12 as my top pick in race 5. One Pair of Hands did run much faster fractions at 5 and 6 furlongs last time out, dropping in multiple classes. 3rd off the break, Now or Never. Cup of Life, class dropper, showing the most upside so far. Appeals to be building momentum to the top side. Bet on Drama should be forwardly placed. Does benefit, I feel, from the 2 scratching. And Only Girl, finally one in here, was better across the board. Its early, middle, and late pace numbers improved last night, and she could up her game in the 2nd off the break. Race 1's about to go. Again, I have a pick 5 to 6 over the 6, 8, 9 with the 8, with the 1, 4, 7, 8, with 1, 4, 8, and 10. Terry's doing a double with the 6. It is not the favorite right now. The 5 horse is the favorite right now at 7-5. The 6 is your second favorite at 9-5. It looks like it's a little overcast there too to me.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, the screen's a little gray. All right, so they're waiting on the 4, it looks like, for me to get in there so they can get moving. And then we'll tell you kind of what happens in race number 1 as it develops, Terry.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm hoping that this 6 horse wins. That'll knock me out of my pick 4 right away if it doesn't. But I feel like it should get a good trip. But that 5, it's another one that has some early speed there that I guess maybe they're counting on that speed getting to the front and not giving it up.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how things played out last Monday too.
Well, and that 7's got a lot of early speed too. Don't tell Frankie. It's 13-1 in the morning line. Right now, it's 13-1. So,
yeah, let's see. Yeah, 13-1. Got a 29% chance to get to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a horse to contend with there at a good price. So,
yep.
It might be one if you're in a contest that you might think about putting in there. Get one of those 13-1 shots home, and you're in good shape, right?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Doesn't take too many other winners to get to the top. So,
right. All right. I think based upon what I'm seeing on the screen, they're all in. And the 3 horse got a pretty bad break, as did the 4, the 2. And then you have 4 horses across the looks like 3 horses anyway, maybe 4. You have the 1, the 6, the 5, the 7 is going way wide. I don't know what the hell he's doing. The 4 horses making a big run up the rail. It's going to be tough, I think, for our 6 horse Terry to go 4 wide around the track and outrun that 5 horse. But he could. You never know.
Yeah.
The opening quarter in 23-2. Right now, the 5 has inched its way to the lead. Looks like you got a bunch of horses across the track. It's tough to tell who's going to do what here. So you have the 1 horse splitting people on the inside, and then you have the 5 horse, and then the 6 totally outside. So the question is, who's got the legs to get this race won at the end here? It looks to me like the 6 is moving better than the 5 right now.
Good.
But the question is that 3 up on the rail. Now the 5, the 3 is going to get us, Terry.
Oh, boy.
He's going to run away with it. That bad break. So interestingly today, Terry, that's really interesting to me because that horse broke poorly, got up. So it looks like the track might favor closers today.
Sounds like it. Yeah, 11-1 and more.
Mm-hmm.
Off 11-1, right?
Yes, and that burns up my pick 5 pretty quick.
Well,
that's a hell of a way to start.
There goes my daily double.
Well, the thing is, I handicapped for speed today. I hope that that's just a one-off event, Terry, because we still have the entirety of the car to go through.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the next race is race number 6. It's a mile and 70 yards, claiming $12,500. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. The purse is $24,000. At a mile and 70 yards, well, usually speed wins. Based upon that first race, it might not be the case today. Although previously 32% went wire to wire, there is an inside 3 bias. 8 and out is a bonus. 4 through 7 are under par. If speed does hold, maybe Jackie Be Good will be good today.
That's true. I mean, he's got plenty of speed, and the 4 also has some speed, as you see there. And that's a nice overlay on that 2 if it actually comes off at 4-1 is more in line, because it's normally, a lot less than that. So
when everybody speed duels around the track like they did, not surprising the 3 came up the rail to win. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, if we go back and look real quick at the way to the winner's circle for race number 1, the 3 horse indeed, but it didn't really look like on paper they were going to do that. So apparently a lot of folks decided to go send their horses. But the 3 horse did have the top late pace. So if we knew speed was going to duel, that might have been a good horse to put in there, because it says so right there. Top late pace. All right. Yeah. In race number 6, let's start there. Who has the most late pace? The 1 horse, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, this race shape is not a whole lot different than race number 1, right? You have a couple that want to be up front. Everybody wants to be in the back. If they're up front, well, the 6 horse, if they can hang on, does have a shot to get the lead. Could get some company from a left arrow horse with the 4. And then the 5 horse might be fake speed, get out to the lead and fade a little bit, Terry. All right. What do you got for a winner in race number 6?
I like the number 2 horse, Jackie Be Good. Finished in the money in all of her races at Parx Racing, so likes the track. She's won one of those starts, has a bullet workout on December 22nd. And I like the 6 horse. She ran second in the last 4 races, has the highest last speed rating, and can improve now that they're shortening up the distance. Then number 3 is my 3rd pick. She ran second versus Tougher in her last race. Drops in class today. Long shot is Cinnamon Dream, number 5. She finished 3rd in her last race and switches to high percentage winning jockey. And then I'm going to bet a trifecta, 50-cent trifecta. I'm going to use the 2-6 with the 2-3-6 with the 2-3-5-6.
All right. I'm going to go in good Matthew.
Uh-oh. You froze.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now.
I froze. Okay. My stupid internet's been acting funny lately. I don't know why. And it's still like the signal is still kind of low. So if I freeze, Terry, well, I freeze. My numbers. You can read them off.
I can read them, yeah.
I got Jackie Be Good. First off the claim for trainer Michael Pino, 21% angle. Things seem to be headed in the right direction. The nice bullet workout on December the 30th. My Coralena, the 6 horse, likely to get the perfect stalkers trip in here. 4 straight seconds, including the top last race speed figure. Number 3, Marty's Dilemma does take a small class drop here. The past performances say that it'd be better in the second off a layoff, and a horse that likes to finish second. 5 times out at the distance, and 3 of those ending up in the bridesmaid. Number 4, Pop the Clutch, is my left arrow horse in here. Should be much, much closer to the front as she goes from a sprint to a route and has some early pace to go with it. All right, for me, I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta, kind of like you, 2-6 with the 2-3-6 with the 2-3-4-5-6. The only one you don't have in there is the 4 horse. So got a lot of similar thinking there. So I'm afraid even if we hit it, ain't going to pay a whole lot.
No, that's why I didn't bet as much as you. So
No, I bet $6. All right.
yeah, I bet 4.
You know what's going to happen is the 4 is going to win for me.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
you're always trying to jinx me.
Yeah.
1 mile for race number 7. This one is a claiming for 5,000. The purse is 20 grand. Mucha Macho is not going to run in this one today, but if he did a mile, he would want to be a horse that has some early speed. 31% of which go wire to wire here. 1 through 7. Post positions, play fair, 8 and out, a little bit under par, Terry. And it looks like everyone's going to have to catch a horse that looks like it's appropriately named.
Yeah, that's right. Number 1's got all kinds of speed. The only thing that's got some speed that might go with it is the 2 and the 8. And then as far as a good price, there are really none there that.
Well, it looks like the 9 might be a good value. 6 to 1 morning line. Looks like it should be something like a 8 to 5, somewhere in there, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Looks like a pretty good overlay.
Yeah,
there.
you're correct about that.
So the Big Andy, $25 to win for Franklin Gonzalez Jr. Field letters, second, $580 to show. Spirit or Spite, $240 to come in third, and they haven't posted that trifecta for race number 1. Back to race number 7 for me. Race number 7, Croatian. 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row for that 4 horse, ending with the top last race speed figure. It's going to drop in class and carry 3 pounds less than it did in its last race. Number 1, High Velocity, should have some high velocity, as you can see up here, 71% chance to get the lead. We'll see if it can indeed do that. It has a 11.2 furlong advantage and an 8.4 4 furlong advantage. Catch me if you can, and if the horse goes off at odds of 9 to 2 or higher, it's actually a good value. Number 9, Grit and Grind, has a dominating 15-point late pace advantage, but this old man is 10 years old. He's close to coming out of, if he's close to the group coming out of the turn, they're not going to hold this geezer off. That's for sure. This gray hair. Yeah. Number 2, Spitester Red. Last race was better than it looks for Spitester Red. It's going to drop multiple classes in here in the second start after layoff. And I forgot to show the way that this race shows up.
I was just going to mention that.
So again, this one's a perfectly balanced race. The 3 horses out. So you got this group over here that wants to be forwardly placed. This group over here that wants to be more in the back. If speed wins, probably favors the 1. If closing wins, like we saw in race number 1, probably favors the 9 horse. As for me, in terms of what I'm going to bet in this race, I'm going to put together a pick 3 with the 1, the 4, and the 9. I'm going to single the 8 in the next leg with the 1, the 3, the 8, and the 10.
Okay, I'm going to go through what I like here. I like the 4, Croatian. Finished in the money in 3 races out of 4 at Parx Racing, winning one of those races. Drops in class today. Number 2 is my next pick. Decent workouts and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I like the number 10 as my third pick. Won 3 out of the last 5 races. Has early speed, so the shorter distance should help. And then my long shot's the number 6 horse, who's won 3 races at Parx Racing and can handle the distance. I'm going to bet $10 to win on the number 4.
I got really mixed up, huh? I lost my GPS there, didn't I, Terry?
Yeah, that's all right.
My show PS. I have no idea where I'm at right there. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know, because I was just about to roll on, Terry. I don't. It's tough. Mick Jagger was right, man. What a drag it is getting old.
Yeah.
All right, race number 8. Let's see if we can get things back in order here, Terry. 6 furlongs claiming for 5,000 non-winners and 1 in the year. Purse is $18,000. Again, 6 furlongs. You want some early speed. You don't want to ride the rail. And it looks like if you want some early speed, 'tis an oxbow. should be one that they have to catch.
Yeah, that's true. Although you've got the 10 and the 11 can also go out there with that horse, the horse. And then you've got a nice, maybe an overlay on that, number 9 horse, and
Yeah, the 8
also
and the
on the
9.
8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also the 8, Loverboy Lou. You could maybe get some money if they can stay at those morning line over.
And the irony is, every Lou I knew thought they were a lover boy, and they all had the same nickname, Big Lou, right?
Yeah.
Is there any way you get 6-1 on High Velocity? I don't know. That's the morning line on that horse back there. He's talking about in race number 7. Again, if you do the math, I don't think you're going to get 6-1, but you never. Well, you probably won't, especially with the 3-horse scratching, because there's just less horses in the race.
Yeah.
But if we just did the quick math on this, Terry, let me just pull up the calculator real quick. And then I know we're a little bit off on a tangent here, but forgive me. If a horse has a 71% chance to get to the lead, so you got 0.7124 times, and then the horses at that distance go wire to wire 31% of the time. So times, I'm in the wrong place here. Let me come over here again. Times 0.31. That means if it gets to the lead, it has a 22% chance to go wire to wire.
Yep.
And if it has a 22% chance to go to wire to wire, those odds equate to roughly 9-2.
Yeah.
So 4.5-1. So if it's 9-2 or higher, oof, that horse is a value play for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Back to race number 8. Terry, let me pull up the way to the winner's circle before I get myself all confused again, which is not hard for me to do, folks. Believe it or not. If you've been around here long enough, you know it's not hard. You got a lot of horses that want to be forwardly placed. In fact, almost all of them want to be up except for 3 back here. If this works out like that first race, that 9 horse has the most late pace. If speed does begin to prevail today, the 5 horse, the 8 horse, in the 11 should be horses that are close to the front. I look at this 8 horse here. When you look at the plus, the early pace and the late pace combination for this horse, I think it's like 16 or 20 points higher than the next horse, Terry. Got a feeling this 8 horse is going to be very difficult, no matter where it is on the track to win.
That could be, but I like the number 3, Glacier Express. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, and he has the highest last race speed rating and a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like that number 8, Loverboy Blue. He has not raced in more than 5 months, but has done very well at Parx Racing and comes back dropping in class. Then the 9 horse is my 3rd pick, finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and has his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I like the 7 is my long shot, Greena's Bullet. Done well. He's done well at Parx Racing in the past and likes today's distance. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 3, 8, 9 with the 1, 3, 5, 8 with the 3, 5 with the 1, 7, 8.
And as for me in this race, I like the 8 horse as my top pick, because I kind of hinted at that a little bit. With that 16-point early pace, late pace advantage over the rest of the field, I haven't seen many miss with that kind of advantage in the past. So I think that's the one to beat. Number 5, Tiz and Oxbow, dropping in class. 3rd race following more than a year in the barn, so should put better. Last race, it did show some improvement in the end, so hinting that the horse could be back into form. Number 9, Crea's Brooklyn Law, 15-point late pace advantage, coming off nearly 2 months rest and dropping in class. And then finally, number 10, Cadence Courage. Son should be close to the front as well. Better Parx numbers than the rest that were considered for this spot. But again, speed doesn't hold. I would probably think about looking somewhere else than the 10 if you see that. I'm just going to do an $11 win bet on that 8 horse, Terry.
Okay.
You don't see too many just straight win bets from me either.
No, I do more than you do on the win bets, and I've been doing pretty well on them. They've been kind of helping me out there. That one on Saturday, I singled it, and you had made the comment, boy, I've got most of my bets on that. Well, I didn't end up getting that pick 4. I could have used your first pick, and then I think it was the next leg or the leg after.
I think I had the first pick in the next 2 legs, but just didn't have the right tickets.
Yeah, and if I'd used yours in one of those legs, I think I would have gotten it. So anyway.
Let's see if we can get race number 9. That one is 6 furlongs, claiming $15,000. It is for 30 grand is the purse there. Again, 6 furlong speed off the rail, and horses go wire to wire about a third of the time. The one horse, Buffalo Shuffle, on paper looks like it should have a tremendous advantage over everybody else. But when we did the simulation, it could have some company.
Yeah, that's true. That one is got a lot of speed, but so is the 2. And that outside horse, if he can break really well, that outside horse can go out there with him. And, so that looks pretty good. There's, on the one, no, not the one.
Looks like the 10 has
10,
the best.
Yeah, the 10. That's the one I was meaning. 10 is got an overlay at 4.5 to 1. So
yes, that 10 horse nice. Indeed. It could be. It's actually made my top pick. So I hope it lives up to that hype in race number 9. We see here a bunch of horses, the 1, the 6, the 3, the 10, the 12. They all have some similar early pace, late pace combinations in this field. Looking at this race, the 10 and the 12 could get some nice trips because you do have a handful of horses. Looks like 6 of them, a half dozen. Yes, want to get to the front. So it could look like that first race. The 1 and the 2 of the early speed types should be the ones that set the tone when the gates open. I think your winner, Terry, just based upon what I see here, it's going to come from this group right here. The 10, the 12, the 3, and the 7. These 2 having the most late pace. These 2 very likely to get fantastic trips. Terry, how do you see it?
Well, I like the 3, Dalton. He finished 3rd versus Similar in his last race and can either go to the lead or come from off the pace to win a race. That's an angle that I really like. And then number 5 is my second pick. He likes the distance, finishing in the money 45% of the races, winning 17% of those races, and likes this track, finishing in the money 53% of the time, winning 24% of the races. And then number 8, Fast Break and Cash. He ran 2nd versus Similar in his last race and has the highest last speed rating. And I like that number 1, Buffalo Shuffle, as my long shot. He has plenty of speed and finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races at Parx Racing. He won one of those. And as you see in my pick 4, I think this is a pretty wide open race. So,
all right. In race number 9, Nimble Beast. The last time this horse, Nimble Beast, ran at this time, he won at this level, won very easily. Should get a nice race shape, as we mentioned, behind that wall of speed. And hopefully can close it out as they're coming down the stretch. Number 8, Fast Break and Cash did increase his speed figure 3 races in a row. Again, culminating in the top last race speed figure. At this level, and again, you have that Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera combination you cannot ignore. Number 3, Dalton, really consistent performer, was better across the board in its last race. Again, improvement from beginning to end. And this one looks like a Tom horse, though, to me, the one we usually do 4 and Fridays with. He'll be off for a little bit, but he'll be back shortly. But this one, I don't know if it's going to win. Probably will now because I talk bad about it. I talk bad about Kenny Pickett and Purdy, and neither one of them has lost a game ever since. So next year in the NFL, Purdy and Pickett, the 2 greatest quarterbacks that ever played football in the history of the NFL. But I'm going to do Terry a big favor this weekend. I'm going to absolutely bet on the 49ers to make sure they lose. And then finally, number 1, Buffalo Shuffle, likely pace setter. And if speed holds, but we didn't see that like it did last week, then they might never catch this horse. But I don't know about that today.
In this 10-game winning streak that the 49ers have, every team that they beat lost their next game. And that's the first time it's happened.
Yeah, because every team that they played won like 3 games all year. So, I mean, why is that shocking anybody?
No, there were some that had won 6-7 games.
I looked it up yesterday. They have the worst strength of schedule for a team that won their division since the Chicago Bears won, with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback.
Yeah.
Rookie quarterback. And then they went around and lost their first game at home in the playoffs. So who do you guys play in the playoffs? The Seattle? I mean, you should be able to beat them. It's that next game that's going to be difficult.
And what I like about Purdy is he actually shows that he doesn't look like a rookie. He looks like a veteran to me. He's got a lot of smarts. So
we'll find out when they play some real competition now, but I don't know how much there is in the NFC. Race 10 is the last one. Well, I'm going to do a trifecta there. 8-10 over to 3-8-10 with the 1, 5, 3, 8, and 10 in race 9. In race number 10, they're going to run 1 mile for optional claiming $35,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime. The purse here is $58,000. Profile of a 1 mile winner. Early speed, 31%. Go wire to wire. And then 1 through 7 play fair. There's not going to be an 8 or out here. With the 7 scratched, it looks like the 2 and the 3 are going to come out and have a sprint.
That's right. Yeah, these scratches really changed my race around in this race. But you're right. The 2 and 3 are going to go out together, I think, and you're going to get maybe a little bit of a overlay on that 2 of Gene C, but it may change because of the scratches.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think you're likely to see. But again, looks like the odds maker here did a pretty good job of putting the odds together because it looks pretty close to what the simulator says. Let's see what the weight of the winner's circle worksheet says for race number 10. 7 horse, I thought was the one that they would have to catch. It's not going to be in here. The 1 horse had an ideal situation being a PC horse. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let me undo that. I was a little too excited with my penmanship. As you're looking for late speed, like we saw in race 1, that's the 5 horse, has the top late speed in this group. Really not a whole lot of other horses with early speed here. This looks like a clump race to me. Maybe the 8 horse should have a really good position. Also tied for the best early speed, late speed combination, sitting right in the middle, Terry. This race kind of looks a little open. What do you think?
I like the number 3 horse, Carol Girl. She finished in the money in 3 out of 3 starts at Parx Racing. She won one of those. She has a bullet workout on January 2nd. And then number 5 is my second pick. She ran second in her last race, finished in the money in 100% of the starts at today's distance, so likes this distance. Number 9 is my next pick, third pick. She has a trainer that wins 20 or 32% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and she has a good furlong workout January 2nd. My long shot is number 2, a GNC. Her early speed running style helps her chances, and she's won 5 races at Parx Racing, so she does all right here. I don't have a bet.
You're all out of money.
Yep.
All right. Carol Girl for me, too. Top last race speed figure dropping in class. I'm fond of that combination for my handicapping angles. Does have some sensational workouts since that last race on November the 4th. The last time this horse put bullet workouts on the track before racing came out, followed those bullets up with 7 3/4 length wins. So it's a horse that absolutely takes the range to the course. Number 6, Flash and Dynamite at Parx, 28 times out. Yeah, that's a good number. 12 of them were winners, so 60% winner at Parx. 3 came in second, 1 came in third. Dropping in class after being much quicker through the first 6 furlongs in its last race. What's interesting to me here is there's only 1 of 2 horses that are for sale in this spot, so I don't know what that necessarily means. Number 9, Midnight Obsession, was the favorite last time out. Got beat, but trainer John Service bounces back at 32% out the next time around the track with chalk that fails to live up to the hype. And that's a super alpha angle for him because he normally wins at 20%. So a 50% increase, a 60% increase on that. Then finally, 90% Bryn at Parx, ran at 14 times, been in the money 11 of 14 times, a couple of wins, 5 seconds, 4 thirds. At the distance, run 4 times with a win, a second, 2 seconds, and a third. So 100% in the money. And since that last race, the horse has 3 pretty good workouts. I'm going to go with a 50-cent trifecta, 3-6, with the 3, 6, and 9, with the 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9. And that brings us to the final race on the card, Terry, which is race number 11. Another 1 mile and 70 yards. Again, early speed, 32%, go wire to wire. Inside 3 or 8 and out seems to be best. And we close the show with a maiden claiming $10,000 race for a purse of 21 grand. And the 2 horses that we're going to get to the front aren't going to do it. In fact, all 3 horses that we're going to get to the front scratched out of here. So it's anybody's guess what's going to happen when the gates open.
I absolutely agree with that. And I do think that, this is a hard race to figure out, tell you the truth. But I did take a little shot in here, so we'll see. He's 8 years old. That's why he's for sale. So
Well, I
anyway,
mean, if you had a little bit of talent still,
yeah,
though, right?
yeah.
You
There's
might
a
wanna
little
keep
bit
him.
of a yeah, there's a little bit of an overlay on that one horse, but I think with the scratches, it might be less than 6-1.
Yeah, I would think a lot of these horses that have odds close to them, like the 4 horse, the 6 horse, the 1 horse, you'll probably see their numbers coming down. All right, for the last time today, the way to the winner's circle worksheet, the 13 was a horse that looked like it could have some speed. It was dropping in class as well. The 8 horse, well, this one is a pressure horse dropping in class. I probably think this is the one they'll have to probably chase down. Maybe the 6 or the 7, they're also dropping in class. If you're looking for some late speed, that belongs to the 11 and the 5, Terry, in a race that should favor whoever gets to the front, whoever that might be. Who do you got at the front of your ticket?
I like the number 1 horse, Exclusive Order. He came in from Monmouth Park and finished second in his first race here at Parx Racing. And this post position is winning at a 20% clip. Then number 7, Double Dealer, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 32% of the races after claiming a horse, and then has a high percentage winning jockey. Then number 8 is my third pick, Big Red, White, and Blue. He drops in class today and has the highest speed figure today's distance and the best dirt speed, is fastest among today's starter. Then I like that number 11 horse as my long shot. Finished second versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing. And I'm going to bet an $8 win ticket on the 1.
So number 7, Double Dealer. I put in there, is this horse a track dropper or not? I'm not so sure. But it's first off the claim for Jamie Ness. He claims a whole lot of horses. In fact, last year he claimed 424 of them. That's a lot. And of those 424, 140 of them came out to win in the first race off the claim. 33%. Good stuff. Number 8, Big Red, White, Blue, is a P horse, as we saw in the way to the winner's circle worksheet. There's really not a lot to chase in here, and it is one of the biggest class droppers in the field. Number 1, Terry's horse, Exclusive Order. Last race was one of its best. Gets that high win rate rail and maybe up a notch or two in the second start after a layoff. And then number 11, Durbanvik. This is our friend Chris Parmalu angle. Finished second by this much last time out. At Parx 4 times, 2 seconds, 2/3. So maybe that O goes today in the Chris P angle. I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta. 7-8 over to 178 over to 1-5, 7, 8, and 11. And that wraps up all of the picks for today. Race 2 is about to get underway, in which case Terry has a pick 4, starting with almost the entire field, the 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. I have a 50-cent trifecta here with the 8, 9, with the 6, 8, 9, with the 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. And it looks like they're just about ready to go. So for once, we've had some pretty good timing, Terry.
Good. Sounds great to me.
And no echo, too. So I don't know what's corrected the echo. Maybe because my internet signal's getting weak. I don't know.
Or maybe because of all the rain we have here.
That could be too. And they're off. So looking at this, we had the 9 horse as the one that was potentially going to get to the lead. We said it had a 68% chance to get to the lead. And God, we hope the lead holds up in this race, Terry. And just as we said, the 9 horse is on the lead to its outside. The 3 horse, Gavinci, running second at 35-1. That's the one. No, you don't have that one in your picks. You say that's the one you want to win, right? Then the 8 horse is next and third, and that horse is Liviosa. 10-1 morning line. The horse right now is 4-1, so it's a little bit of an odds dropper. It has now taken over second for, no, is that the 6 horse? Yes, the 6 horse is taken over second. And that one is Nothing's Free. So you got the 9, the 6, and then the 8. And that looks like that's how they might run around the track, although the 3 horse looks like it's going to come back on that 8. Question is, who comes in for third, right? So right now, the 6 horse is definitely gaining some ground on that 9. Can he hang in there? Can he hang in there with that 9? He hasn't really asked the 9 to go, but this 5 is coming like a monster at the end. Can he run them both down? Man, sure looks like closing is the way to go today, because that 5 just might get him at the wire. And it's going to be, yep, the 5 horse, Terry. Good one there for you to get it started with. The 5 horse went off at 6-1.
All right.
So looking at the track so far, folks, man, I got to say, I handicapped for speed today, so it could be a really tough day for me, as we've had that 5 horse came from dead last. No, not dead last. Second to dead last. Was probably 12, 14 lengths off the leader coming out of the turn and was able to close up all of that ground. So it's going to go 5, 9, and 6. There you go.
All right.
All righty then, folks. Well, that wraps it up, Terry. Today, Julie will return with Sean for Horse Center. That'll be tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you tune in for that. Let's see who they have as their guest tonight, Terry. Let's see if Sean updated the Facebook page yet. He hadn't when we went live. No, he did not. I don't know who's going to be on Horse Center tonight, folks. So make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock. Let's see if it's in here anywhere. All right. So tonight, Monday, he's going to have Dana Saul as the guest with Julie. Make sure you tune in for that at 8 p.m. Eastern. The best way to make sure you catch that show and tomorrow with Madison Oliver, who just recently got her first win. Some young folks being on the show this week, highlighted, and TJ Aguirre. So tonight, Dana Saul. Tomorrow, Madison Oliver, TJ Aguirre on Wednesday. Julie and Sean going to tackle all of that. So make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock. Best way to make sure you don't miss any of that is to do what, Terry?
Go ahead and subscribe to YouTube. Gives us a thumbs up. Hit that little bell. You can also go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and give us
Twitter.
In Twitter at Horse Race, the number 2 day. And
Yes,
give us thumbs up there. So.
Yes, our Sean will keep you up to speed on that. I know he launched today the Jockey Survivor. Hopefully, you'll win that contest. I don't know what he plans on giving away, but I'm sure he'll give something away. Speaking of which, tonight, the last college football game of the year, as you have the Georgia Bulldogs tackling the upstart Texas Christian University Horned Frogs. So our pick with the professor is likely to have some thoughts on that game. There is a link in the description below, so catch him out. We also have some thoughts today over at Mahoning Valley, one of the other 2 tracks running today. It is the free track over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You can find the link down there. Please use that link or one that you'll find on Horse Racing Today so that they know where you're coming from. And also note that at Horse Racing Today, in just a bit, I will put up all of our picks and notes on site so that you can see who we picked, our suggested wagers. Again, right now I handicap for speed, 2 races in a row, closers coming in. So maybe adjust your picks around closers today. And if you appreciate what we do around here, want to help the show out, there is a link in the description down below for some Horse Racing Today gear. You see, Terry's looking phenomenal in that fiery red today. I'm looking my hobo best with the 11, all of which, though, is brought to you by Horse Racing Today gear. All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we get out of here and come back tomorrow for Parx? Well, I will handicap for closers, so I can assure you that speed will win tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I want to say is that with all this terrible weather, I hope everybody stays safe. It's really, we haven't seen this kind of weather in this West Coast for a long time. Other than that, just have a good week and give your loved ones a kiss and a hug. Tell them how you really how you feel about them, as long as it's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, so you can sometimes don't enable them either. Let them know
That's
what
true.
they got to correct to.
That's true.
All right, Terry. Well, whether you're not enabling the loved ones around you, whether you handicap for speed just to watch closers and closers come home, if you're going to bet at Mahoning Valley a little later on at Turf Paradise, no matter what it is you do, or you're going to bet on that big football game tonight, whether your team is in the playoffs with a rookie quarterback, the greatest team that ever played, the San Francisco 49ers, or you're with my team, the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, who prefers to throw the ball to the other team. No matter what it is you're doing today, we hope that it ends up in just one place, and that has to be
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for Parx once again.